Hey guys, it's Tim Gillette with the Tim Gillette Show, and we're back for what is it? I think this is like our third one today. All right, it's I had 5, but 2 people had to move to next week because of health issues. But hey, 100 interviews, 30 days. I'm determined to make this. Why? Because why not? You've got to challenge yourself sometimes. So in challenging yourself and doing these things, all right, you've got to sometimes you get to meet new people and learn all about them live on the air. Sometimes you get to meet people you've known or met recently and because you've been on their podcast and you want to find out about them, or maybe you want to interrogate them on your podcast like they did on yours. I don't know. We'll figure that out as we go along with today's show. Today, I'm honored to bring on Ken Walls. And if you don't know Ken, you're going to find out how great he's been. And he's actually been a great influence to me over the past 6 months. When we met about 6 months ago, I was on his show, and through this ordeal that we're going through on in the world today, Ken is doing some impacting things, and I thought I'd bring him on, do an interview with him, get to know who he was, and have some fun. So let me bring on, is it Dr. or Mr. Ken Walls?
Just Ken. Just Ken.
You don't want to do the official thing? You just want to be you, huh?
Just Ken, yeah. Hey, I've been called way worse than my first name, so, we're good.
Well, Ken, first of all, how's it going in Ohio? How are you and the family doing right now through this?
We're doing great, man. It's 63 degrees here today. Sun's out. It's beautiful. Had the kid came over and mowed the yard today. It's good, man. It's good.
You don't mow your own yard?
No, man. I ain't nobody got time for that. No.
So we're in a condo complex, and the lawn crew came by and was blowing the leaves out not 30 minutes ago. And I'm like, crap. If they do, it just fun. They'll just wait. And I'm like, please. I don't want to have to cancel the podcast because they're running. Their normal time that they're normally, I have blocked out on my calendar that I can't record because I know about the time they came through. And this was a shock they were doing it today. But like everyone else,
funny. What's that?
I said, like with everyone else, what day of the week is it?
I know. What is it? What today is? Oh, it's Monday.
It's Monday.
That leaf blower thing, dude. I used to have a show on Grant Cardone's network, and so I finally tied him down for an interview on the show I had on his network. And wouldn't you know, that's exactly what happened. Right next to my studio windows, they freaking were out there blowing. Grant was like, dude, I can hear you fine. It's okay. Let's roll.
Mm-hmm. So
like, all right.
Mine and also my wife's home. So, and she's working downstairs, but we have a condo that has a high ceiling coming off the living room.
Yeah.
So down there echoes up. All right. And this office is like the worst. Everything echoes up. If someone knocks on the door, I hear it loudly. Yeah. If I open the screen door, it echoes in. It's like,
yeah.
But it's a beautiful scenery I get to see. I mean, I get to see the trees through that window. I can see my gate through there, and I've got a view at my neighbor's balcony from here.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So
and you're in Dallas, right?
I'm in Dallas, Texas. So you're at which part? Where did you stay? You told me in Columbus?
North of Columbus, but yeah. I say Columbus because most people haven't heard of Marion, Ohio.
Oh, so. I've heard of Marion. I've been through Marion. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I drove truck and drove through Marion a lot. I think there was a lot of Marion deliveries. There's a lot of industry in Marion, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah. Whirlpool's worldwide headquarters is here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
cool.
That's about it. I think.
Well, in the early 90s, there was a ton of stuff there. So
Yeah.
But, so Ken, you've been doing some interesting stuff online, I've noticed. So first of all, you have a podcast of your own, right?
I do. Yeah.
Breakthrough
Walls.
You do that every day, right?
Typically Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, I do. Typically I interview a celebrity or an entrepreneur. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've been doing it for 2 years now, a little over 2 years.
I've noticed like your numbers, all right, because I watch your numbers when I'm able to watch it on Facebook. So you're doing something consistent because you got numbers.
I mean, dude, yeah. I was taught by the very, very best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then now I've noticed you started doing some nighttime stuff.
You know Glenn Morshower
I know
from
Glenn personally. Yeah. His
yeah,
studio's 2 miles from here, by the way.
yeah. I love that dude. I mean, and so we got connected through Bob Donnell
I know Bob very well. Yeah.
yeah. And so Glenn was struggling to figure out how to keep his acting school going, and because he has an acting, he teaches actors, and I just got on. I said, dude, I'll show you how to do it, and I showed him all how to use Zoom and how to use all the controls and how to, and and honestly, he's become like a brother to me. We talk every single day. He invited me to be in his acting class today, and he had Malcolm Jamal Warner on there helping teach. It was incredible.
Yeah. So when he has it live here in Dallas, all right, it's his school. Literally, and I said, it's 2 miles from here. It's right across the street from my wife's office.
Yeah.
I have gone down on when he does it on Mondays and Tuesdays, just on a day I want to break. And I just go down and sit and watch. Yeah. And I know a lot of his students because of that. I've met many of them from watching them just develop over the years. I love that. To me, it was greater entertainment than watching a movie. But I mean, wow, you actually connected and helped him.
I mean, that's what I do. I try. That's how I've built my business. I built my life around, giving back and helping others. And, there are people that, I mean, I also charge for my services. So there's people that try to push it too far. And, when I say, hey, we're at a place where we need to talk about billing, and some people don't want to do that, and that's fine. I see them struggle.
So you offer help until it gets overwhelming, and at that point or do you enter the whole arrangement with, I'm going to help you so far, and then there's going to be billing?
Yeah, I mean, typically it's up front. I say, hey, I'm a coach, and I do business consulting, and I now have developed, because of my buddy Jeffrey Gittimer, his wife. I had Jeffrey and Grant Cardone and a bunch of other people were on a live stream with me one night. And afterwards, his wife hit me up and said, you need to develop a course teaching people how to live stream. And I said, yeah, I should think about that. And she's like, no, you're going to do it, and blah, blah, blah. And so I did. And that's been, I always kind of preface like, look, I'll help you out for a little bit here and try to help you get started. But I have a course, or you can hire me, and the course is way cheaper. Yeah. And very effective. So,
yeah. What is it that you teach in the live streaming? What is it you teach them how to do it? The technical, what is it you teach into it?
I teach, the technical. The technical is very important to know how to actually run all the controls. Obviously, you're using StreamYard right now. If you don't know, and how to develop a show as well, like having an intro and stuff that you and I talked about, right? Like doing little things that separate you from. There's a lot of noise out there, man, especially right now with COVID-19.
Yeah,
you can't scroll through Facebook without seeing 100 live streams going at once. And that's cool. I love that, man. But there's a lot of people doing live streams that have no business doing live streams. They need to go take some professional. It's like being an actor. I mean, if I was going to, be an actor and I wanted to be in TV or movies or whatever, I would go to Glenn and say, dude, I need to take your acting class. How do we get started? How much is it? And where do I pay you? Yeah. I have coaches I pay, and so there's a lot of people that try to, circumvent that, and that's fine. You can do that. But it's not the best way. The best way is to hire a professional to teach you. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So Glenn and I met Glenn through Craig Dussalt, who's my coach. Right.
Yeah.
And, there's another mutual person that we have in the contact of that, and that is James Malinchak. Have you ever met James?
No, I have not. I know the name.
Yeah, but so I've seen Glenn speak at James's things as well as Craig's, and we talked about this with James once, and James actually used to tell people, listen, you could figure this out. You could spend the next 2.5 to 4 years figuring it out on your own, or you can hire a coach and do it in 6 months. You decide.
Right.
And I loved it when he put it that way.
It's true. It's true. I see a couple of my friends are popping on here.
Yeah.
I said today, I was Scott McCain. Do you know Scott?
Yes, I know Scott. I've known him, and I've never talked to him live. I actually just sent a thing out to him yesterday. I said, "Hey, why don't you be on my podcast?" So
yeah, Scott's amazing, and so he did a live stream earlier. I was on it, and he was talking about last night because he was on with Glenn and I last night, and Joe Ingram, and thank you for that nice ticker you got going there. But so I made you've heard this before, and I'll say it again. Watching Malcolm Jamal Warner today teach in Glenn's class, Malcolm, and somebody brought up, having an acting coach. At what point do you not need one? And Malcolm Jamal Warner and Glenn have both been in the business for a very, very long time, and they still use acting coaches now and then if they need them. And it's like, okay, the old saying goes, professionals use coaches, amateurs do not. Right? So many people I look at somebody like I've Grant Cardone has coached me one-on-one. I've worked with him one-on-one. If you want to coach with Grant right now, it's $100,000 for 4 sit downs. 4, $25,000 a pop per meeting. And it's like, now that's not what I paid, not even close. But when you want to elevate your game, you got to get with the people that are going to help you elevate your game, and not just say it. So many people say it. They look at somebody that's exploding, or they've grown to a certain point, and they go, well, that guy's just lucky. No, that guy's not lucky. That's not how it works. You know that.
Yeah, I know that.
I see your guitar behind you. How long have you played?
I've not.
Oh, you don't?
I don't. My stepson and my wife got me that for my birthday last year, and my stepson says he's going to teach me.
I have a guitar sitting right here, and I'm 50. I'll be 52 in July. I've played since I was 7 years old. And guess what? Even though I can play by ear, I still took lessons in the beginning for quite a while, right?
Yep.
Like you can learn how to do something through trial and error, but man, you are really dragging it out. And I don't know where we're going with this conversation, but I just think that if you really want to elevate your game, I don't care what it is, whatever it is, you got to learn that it takes investing.
Yeah. Here's the way I've actually heard it is like people say, oh man, you need a life coach. And I have the saying, you don't need a coach, but when you want to be successful, you'll find a coach to help you get there.
That's
a coach isn't a need. A coach is because I want more. I'm going to hire someone to help me want to learn it faster.
That's right.
And that's something I've always believed in. And you know what I mean? And then I believe in levels of coaches. Now I have people, most of my clients can come to me because of the fact that like they've been burnt out by someone at a high level. They were a beginner and said, well, I want the best. So they hired the best, and the best wasn't even in a realm to help them.
Right.
Because the best is working with the tools at Grant Cardone's level. He's got tools he works with. Yeah. And you're walking in with, you know what I mean? It's like Glenn. All right. You're walking in. Okay. You want to be Tom Cruise. All right. But you haven't even gotten into a commercial yet, let alone the local theater.
That's right.
Hiring Tom Cruise's coach is not going to help you right now.
Dude, we can look at acting. We can look at life coaching. Look at Tiger Woods, who is if not the best golfer ever, right? And he has coaches all the time, the time.
Yeah.
Like, so, and people are like, well, yeah, he's Tiger Woods. He can afford it. What? Dude, he grew up in the ghetto. He couldn't afford it. He had to figure out a way to do it,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think, I invest heavily in furthering my education and training and coaching and everything. Lisa Marie Kennedy, I love that woman. And Lynn, I love Lynn. There's Fran Taylor. Fran Taylor's a legend right there. If you don't know him, he's a good dude. Yeah. So yeah.
let me go a different route here with it. Is
Yeah.
Ken, since we're talking about coaches and mentors, is there a coach or a mentor, say from your early years, high school, junior high, even down to elementary school, someone that impacted you to go, because of them, I'm going to be such and such for the rest of my life?
You know,
One more?
in my book, I tell a story about a guy named Dan Fink.
Mhm.
I'll never forget Dan. I worked for Dan. He was I was an independent contractor in sales for a company, and this guy knocks not well, it's a long story. I won't go into. It's in my book, the whole story. But
Mhm.
I had been very successful in sales. It was a luck thing. And then I don't know, 30, 60, 90 days in, I kind of, went off the radar because I don't know, didn't want to cold call anymore or whatever it was. And this dude drove like 70 miles, whatever, I forget the distance, around 70 plus miles to my house unannounced and knocked on my door and forced me, like literally made me like, he's like, I'm going to sit down on your couch. You're going to go get your ass in the shower. I hope that's okay to say on your show. You're going to get in the shower and we're going out today cold calling and we're going to make some money.
Mhm.
And I was like, but dude, I had, my hair was all like, I looked like Don King. I wasn't ready for anything. And it was standing straight up, man. I said, I'm not. And he's like, you're going to, or I'm kicking your, and I said, dude, okay, fine, whatever. So we went out and that was a moment for me because I watched that guy go out that day and make like $4,000 in one day. And that was a day for me that changed my life because I realized that, look, last night I got about 5 hours of sleep, if that. And I could have chosen to hit you up and say, dude, I am way too tired to do this deal. Or I could, whatever. I could make all kinds of excuses. Instead, I got up this morning. I had somebody on my show. I was on Glenn's acting thing just to be there for tech support backup. Plus, I got to see Malcolm Jamal Warner teach and be in and it was incredible, right?
Mhm.
So I mean, people miss out on opportunities because of their bull crap excuses. And I'm not judging. Trust me, I have been there a gazillion times.
Yeah.
But that day, Dan Fink woke me up. Not just in that moment. I didn't realize how long it would last. It's lasted a lifetime.
Yeah.
Like, he made me he forced me to confront the story I was telling myself in my head about I can't go cold call today because of I got the next Super Mario Brothers level to clear or whatever. Right.
Well, you do need to play because it's funny you mentioned Glenn in this because I want to tell you, I've sat in a parking lot with Glenn talking, freezing when I knew I had to ride my motorcycle home and I didn't bring a jacket because when I left 8.5 hours earlier to come meet him, it was warm outside.
Yeah. But that's the way he is too.
And I've left I was at one of his movie premieres here in Dallas, and we left the movie premiere and went to the after party at his house that started at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
That's people who miss out. I mean, and I remember that party. I got to meet an actor who's very, very well off that was in a movie with him. And the lady whose church we went to for ages was in that movie, and she was a leader of like a worship group leader. And I met her at Glenn's house.
Yeah.
I would not have met her. And she's still a great friend of mine today. She got engaged last year. Just wow.
Yeah.
You don't run into that stuff if you're not willing to go out there on the ledge.
You got, that's the, man, I was raised in in an environment where, it definitely wasn't, ideal. I'll just say that. And I like, dude, I don't know what it was. I dropped out of high school in 12th grade and they told me I didn't get a biology credit in 10th grade. And I said, yeah, because it was stupid. I hated that class. And they're like, well, you need that class to graduate from high school. And I'm like, well, that's stupid too. And so is your stupid rule. And I'm out of this stupid place. And I walked out 17 years old. And, for a long time, I had that feeling of feeling less than, like I don't fit in anywhere. And so I drank very, very heavily. And, I eventually I hit a bottom with all of that. And I had to go in a different direction with my life, or I was probably going to die. And so I don't know, man. I think, through all the stuff that I've been through in life, there's not a whole lot that I'm afraid of. There's just not much that scares me. Like, there used to be, but it's just not there anymore. Because most of it, Tim, is made up in our head.
Yes, agreed.
Most of it's made up. We tell ourselves the craziest damn stories.
So, all this stuff. I mean, we're talking about mentors and people who actually touched us in the past. Are you right now working with someone, or are you aware of a statement or maybe something you made to someone that is impacting their life, and you see the growth spurt in them now?
Yeah, and I coach some people, and I don't want just to protect their
don't put their identities out. I should
anonymity, but
tell something about how you see that impact in their lives.
I've seen it impact several people's lives, and look, I've coached people. I almost hate that word, but because it's so overused now, but I've coached people for many, many years, and it was more of a, I've been there. Here's how I got through it. Good luck. And rah, shake some pom-poms and get them fired up. And that was it. And then, it was a few years ago, I had some people reaching out, asking me to coach them specifically on some topics. And I said, well, I'm not a coach. Well, I want you to be a coach. Will you please be a coach? They're asking me. And I'm like, all right, let me look into this and I'll let you know. So I ended up doing it, and I saw lives change because I was able to help them identify some areas that they weren't attacking properly in life. Right. And so I saw the light go on. I saw a lot of really cool things, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep doing it then. I'm just going to keep, and I don't advertise it. I think I have a coaching thing on my website if somebody comes across it, but I don't push it. If somebody reaches out to me, I say, yeah, I do coaching, and I love to help people, man. That's what I live for.
So, in your personal life, so we can get away from business for a minute. In your personal life, what are some hobbies that you and your wife have?
Work.
Wait a minute. That's my wife and I. We work too. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. We went through a rough patch a few years ago, and made some bad business decisions that hurt us financially, and agreed that we were going to put our heads down for a few years and grind through it. And we've come out on the other side. As a matter of fact, I have a couple of vehicles on order that I can't even get yet because of this damn virus. But, and it's been a long road, man. And, this is after being in business for many years. I mean, many years. So, it's the way it goes. Sometimes you just have to but we like taking trip. We went last summer, we went down to Destin, Florida, and hung out there for 5 days. And I love to play golf, and, but yeah, we don't do a whole lot.
You don't indulge into it right now, I guess is what you're saying.
What's that?
You don't indulge into it right now. Is that?
No, I didn't even play golf. I didn't play golf one time last year. Wow. Not once. And I it's not because I don't want to. It's because I get so busy and focused that by the time I think, oh, today'd be a good day to play golf, it's like I might get 3 holes in. So, screw it. So No, you know, we do when we've been to Disney World. We took a huge trip several years ago, went to Disney and you know, because of the hard work, I was able to really do a nice trip for my two daughters and my wife. I had my mother-in-law with us and paid for all that in a suite in one of the Disney property hotels, you know, so one of the nicest suites. So you know, it's not cheap to do that for 12 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you have kids then. Tell me about your kids.
I have a 14-year-old daughter from my a previous learning experience, and I have a 9-year-old daughter with my wife now.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been married for 10 years.
10 years? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and did you always live in Ohio, or did you grow up somewhere else and move there, or what?
Nope. This is where I'm from. I was born and raised here. I've lived all over the country though, but I was born and raised in Ohio. I've lived in a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of places.
If you had to wrap up your career now and retire, what is the one thing you can say that brought the most joy to you in your career?
Getting creative, man. I love getting creative. I talked about this last night on my live stream about how to overcome if you're feeling down or feeling blue or whatever. You know, again, it's what brings me joy is getting out of my own way and overcoming my own excuses. I'll use you as an example. You're going to love this.
Oh,
like, if you say, oh Lord, no, but like, dude, there's so many guitar lessons on YouTube that you could learn how to play that. If you just said, I'm going to learn how to play it. And so what brings me joy is when the light comes on for me, right? When I go, oh my God, I've been making that excuse for so long. I actually started believing it. Right. You know what I mean? Do you ever do that? Like you wake up and you're like, why did I make that excuse for so long? Yeah. and so, you know, look, man, when you have kids, like, you know, seeing your kids light up, that there's nothing better than that for me. So, you know, anything I can do to watch, like my little girl came to me about 2 hours ago and said, Daddy, can we go out and play basketball? And I said, yeah, let's go. Right. I can't do that if I'm working somewhere for somebody. I can't just like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon go, yeah, let's go play basketball for a little bit. Right. I can't do that. I have that freedom. So I'm not ready. Dude, I'm 51 years old. I'm not ready. I'm far from retiring.
I know. I just always like to put it that way because most people are like, well, wait a minute. I'm not done yet.
Yeah, no, I'm not even close to being done.
And I've always been like you, Ken. I've always been an entrepreneur. So I've always worked for myself or worked for a company I run.
Yeah, right.
You've got to find your, you know what I mean, your guidance, your whatever drives you underneath it in it, because you'll work 80 hours to avoid getting a 40-hour-a-week job. But, you know, Ken, I remember that as you're talking, my daughter's very first field trip, I went on it with her.
Yeah.
And so did her mother. It's like, most people are like, you know, I wish I could do this.
Yeah.
I did. I mean, I wasn't billionaire or anything when I did it, but it's because I owned my own company. And I think that's probably the message you'd like to give to people is, you know, it's not all sunshine and roses, but there's little benefits like that.
It's, you know, look, it's incredibly difficult. And the old adage of if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. It's very, very difficult, man, to own your own business. But I honestly don't know another way. I just don't know. I mean, I've tried working for people and I'm just not employable. Yeah. I'm, you know, and again, I think right now, Tim, I think that right now, because of the coronavirus, I think this is the biggest opportunity ever in the history of the world, at least since I've been alive. I think it's the biggest opportunity ever for most people to find something that they're truly passionate about, It may require learning a whole new skill set.
Mhm.
But now is a great opportunity for people to shift, man.
Yeah. I actually, I work with another gentleman. We host an event in the same building every month. And he was talking to me just 2 months ago and said this very thing. If I lost my job, I've got a community of people I can build something with.
Right.
I mean, you lost everything. You still have a community of people. And right now, it's like there are people who will come out of this looking good, will be the ones that create shows, create podcasts, create a product, solve a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and again, like my podcast, I put it out on just about every platform in the world. It costs me $35 a month or whatever, but so what?
Yeah.
I'm getting distribution like globally. So it costs me a little bit of money. And that's the thing for me is there was this shift. And again, Grant Cardone, I hate to keep bringing him up, but I'm going to again, he kind of helped me have that shift where it's like, hey, if you're going to do something and do it well, you have to invest in it. You have to invest in yourself. And so I spend money on, the podcast platforms that I'm on. I pay for some of it. And I've invested in, and I spent a lot of money having my intro video created by a really incredible.
That's a nice video too. Yeah.
Guy. Thank you. Yeah. He's incredible. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So like, again, I've tried the route of, can I tell you a quick story? I got to tell you this.
You got the reign. I'm here to interview you, dude. Tell.
So my buddy Frank Crenity is number 2 car salesperson in the world. Like he sells over 100 cars a month by himself. He is a phenomenal human being. And so him and I were doing some business together. We're partners in this one thing. And so I called him and he's like, dude, I need you to come over to Philadelphia and spend a week over here. Let's go through all this, do some recording, video stuff and yada, yada, yada. And I said, okay, dude. And he's like, I'll cover the hotel room. We'll take it out of the company, blah, blah, blah. Here's my credit card number. I said, all right, cool. And so I call around in the area he told me to call around in, and I call him back and I said, dude, and he mentioned one hotel. And I said, dude, it's like the cheapest thing I can find is $350 a night. And I'm going to be over there for 8 nights or whatever it was. And he's like, yeah, did you book it? And I go, no, I wanted to call and make sure you were cool. He goes, why wouldn't I be cool with that? Of course, book it. What? I said, well, do you want me to see if they take AAA or something? And he goes, do you have AAA? And I go, no. And he goes, dude, what are you doing, man? I'm losing more money than $350 a night just by being on this freaking phone call with you. Yeah. He goes, listen, I don't do coupons and I don't do discounts. I pay full price always. Yeah. And guess what? My customers in turn don't come in and ask me for freaking discounts. Mm-hmm. You got to stop putting that energy out to the world. And a light went on and I was like, dude, you are so right, man. And I had been like that my whole life, whether it was programming from my parents or whatever it was, the media, church, whatever. I don't know what it was, but I had this thing in my head where it's like, oh,
what the heck happened?
Oh, I know it like bleeped on us for a second, but like, and I don't do it. I don't ask for discounts anymore, man. I just go like whatever it is. If it's something I want, I get it. And if it's something I can't afford, I just say, hey, not yet, not yet. I want it. I'm going to get it. Just not yet. So, and I'm not going to say, hey, Tim, I can't afford your course, or I can't afford this, or I can't, whatever. Stop putting that energy out to the world. Amen. That's what it is, man.
Yeah.
And is Lisa Marie Kennedy still on here? If she's still, tell her to say hi again. I got to show her something. Mm-hmm. So, but anyway, so yeah, man, that was a huge moment for me. And here's the crazy part, Tim. I already knew that.
Yeah.
I've seen The Secret. I've seen The Secret 100,000 times. I've read all the books. But there's still those tiny little things that we hang on to. And that's actually not a tiny thing. It's a huge thing.
Mm-hmm. Very huge.
Changed my life.
Yeah. I love that. That was right there. It's worth having you on right there. That story right there. But it's huge. Ken, I can tell you how many times that I went, man. And now I'm having people tell me about their travels in this. All right. Well, I've got to cancel my room and I've got to deal with the site that I booked it on.
Yeah.
I book all my hotels on Marriott.com. I book all my flights on Southwest.com. So I've canceled in the past 4 weeks. I've canceled 15 hotel nights and like 7, 10, 15, I don't know, like flights.
Yeah.
Because like some of them are connecting flights and what. And I just went to 2 sites to do it. And that's it.
Yeah.
I didn't have to go with, well, let me go through the third party. Let me get confirmation. And now my event, oh my God, there's a whole headache of things that you don't want to know going on with my event right now.
Yeah.
Because I have to cancel, and it's not just the hotel, it's the sound guy, the video guy, I've got all that out. Yeah. Anyway.
But a blessing will come out of it, man.
Oh, I know.
It always does.
I'm actually putting together my first virtual event because of this.
Yeah.
All right. And then I'm booking someone else's virtual event using StreamYard, as a matter of fact, because of you. All right. I'm using StreamYard now because of you. And then I seen someone else do it in a virtual event type thing. Yeah. And I'm like watching people like you go out there and do it going, oh, wow, I can do this. Yeah. I, for years, did my podcast on Zoom and then broadcast it later.
Right.
Why? I don't have to anymore. Right. Ken showed me a tool for $25 a month that I can do it with.
Right. Right. It's crazy, man. It's insane.
So again, you can invest and build now. All right. Or you can take forever and find the cheap way out. You decide.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's the truth. It's the truth.
Well, Ken, I mean, this has been fun. All right. I do like to keep mine to a certain limit. And I want to make sure I get everybody information on how they can get connected to you. First of all, tell them that the people who listen audio wise so they hear it.
KenWalls.com, KenWalls, KenWalls.com. You can reach me. You can download, I think you can download my digital business card, has my cell phone number and everything on it.
And your podcast, when do you host your podcast and where can they find that?
It's everywhere. It's on, I broadcast it to 4 Facebook pages, 2 YouTube channels, Periscope, Twitter. Once in a while, I venture out to Twitch. And then it's on every podcast platform, I think, in the world. I don't know. Maybe there's a couple of them that it doesn't hit, but it hits most of them.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I've had a blast having you on the show today. All right. First of all, I mean, you've got more wisdom behind you than most of the people who come onto these shows.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You know what I mean? And I appreciate that, Ken. I really do.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate you saying that.
So, but I do have to ask though, the nighttime thing. How did this get started at night? What you guys are doing at night?
I don't even know, man. Glenn is a vampire. I'm kidding. He doesn't sleep, man. I swear. And so he'll hit me up. He'll call me or text me and, hey, you want to do a live stream? And I don't say no. I just, I mean, there's times when I'm like, man, I'm wiped out. I just can't do it. Or, which I don't think I've done that at all with him. But I like everyone, I have limitations, I guess. But we just started doing it. And now Glenn Morshower and I are actually we're putting together we're going to do a weekly show. We're not sure exactly how we're going to do it yet, but it'll be him and I, and we're going to make it a podcast as well. Mm-hmm. And we're going to call it the Ken and Glenn Show.
Cool. Cool.
It's crazy.
So it's like, you know what I mean? Every night that I get to hear it, most of the time I'm in the office up here and I'm working.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to it because it's down like 3 or 4 links and I'm doing something. Yeah. But every now and then I'm like, man, I want to jump on one of these. They just look like so much fun to be on there.
We have fun, man, and we'll gladly have you on, dude. That's the thing look, I'm of the mindset, and I know you got to wrap it up, but I'm of the mindset that if it's not fun, now I'm not saying everything is fun, but here's the deal, bro. You're going to die, and I'm going to die. We don't get to live forever, and I am not going to die miserable. I want to have fun while I'm here. And if it's not fun, if it's not helping me grow spiritually, if it's not touching the lives of other people in a positive way, dude, I'm out. I'm not doing it.
Exactly. Zig Ziglar once said, I don't want to show up into the box to that gravesite all preserved and looking pretty. I want to slide into that thing sideways, all worn out, saying, woohoo, what a ride.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly, man. I forgot, you knew Zig. I forgot about that. I love the Ziglars. Tom and Cindy and Julie, love them. They're amazing.
I'm scheduled to be out speak at Ziglar devotionals. I think as on June 5th right now, if everything's back to normal by then. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Anyway, well, Ken, I'd like to close my show out with a little game I call This or That. You willing to play?
Sure.
Okay. So here, I'm going to throw a couple of things down for you. And I'm not going to show them to you. I'm going to ask you.
Okay. Go for it.
I want the cheater notes.
Can I pass?
You can't pass. You have to pick.
Oh, this isn't euchre, huh? Okay.
Nope.
Right.
I got this from watching Sammy Hagar do it, but on his show.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me start off with this one. I love to start off with, and I don't even know if you were interested in these. I tried to pick up and didn't get it. So Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Trek.
Okay, so that gives an alternate question. Kirk or Picard?
Kirk.
You're the first Kirk in a week.
Really?
Everybody's been Picard this past week.
Dude, I'm old. That's why.
Yeah. Okay. If we were going to go to sports, baseball or football?
Football.
Football? Who's your favorite team?
Steelers.
Oh, man.
I know.
That's right. You're kind of close to that area. So
yeah.
Spring or fall?
Spring.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
I love the rebirthing of life. Man.
That kind of says something about your personality on that.
Yeah.
It does. So
fall feels like death to me.
Fall, see, to me, I like them both, and it's hard to decide, but fall is refreshing to me, where spring is new life. So
yeah.
Exactly, though. But I love it. I love the perspective. It shows what kind of person you are. But the next one, coffee or tea?
Coffee. I just finished a cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm dying here, not being able to go to Starbucks 5 times a day.
Right. Yeah.
It's killing
crazy.
me. Wait a minute. When we were planning for me to be on Ken's show, I was sitting in a Starbucks in the mall with my mom talking to him on the phone.
Seems like ages ago, doesn't it?
I know. Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
There's no beach in the center of Ohio, dude.
No, we're not far from the mountains, though. So,
how about Ford or Chevy?
Ford.
All right. I was going to almost throw Dodge in there too, but yeah, those were always the dividing point, the Ford or Chevy.
Yeah.
Oh, and I have 2 of them. The last 2 are kind of fun. All right. One of them can create wars at this point in time in a world, but the other one, all right, is a personal preference.
Okay.
So first, toilet paper, under or over, if you have it.
I mean, I can't believe under is even an option. Who puts toilet paper on upside down? Like
you would be surprised.
That makes me crazy. If I'm ever in somebody's house and it's under, I'll switch it.
So the girl I had on this morning, Cammie, actually said, if I'm dating a guy and I go to his house the first time, I'll switch it. The second time, I'll switch it. If the third time he still keeps doing it, that's it. I'm breaking up with him. He doesn't.
Done. Yeah. No.
that was the best response.
That's actually, I'm with her. That's probably 2 more times than I would give him.
It's like, why are we friends?
Like the first time, I'm out. Like we can't. I don't need a project.
So, and my last one here, boxers or briefs? Told you it was a funny one.
I wear boxer briefs. So it's a combination.
Hey, today I've had boxers, briefs, and commando. So That's my guitar playing if I can hit it every time.
Yeah, you hit it. That was nice.
All right. Well,
Awesome,
Ken,
dude.
one more time, tell them your website in case they want to get a hold of you. And we appreciate
KenWalls.com.
All right. Ken, I appreciate you coming on the show. And guys, listen, Tim Gillette Show, we're interviewing 100 people in 30 days, people who are making an impact just like Ken is doing. So I appreciate you all for listening and tuning in. We'll see you next time with another great guest. Tim Gillette. Bye. I can't get my mouse up there to shut it down fast enough.